the days when judges like Samson and Gideon ruled the land of Israel, there was a famine. Because there was no food, Elimelech, a man from God's people in Judah, moved to the pagan land of Moab. He took his wife Naomi and their 2 sons. In time, Elimelech died, and his sons married women from Moab. But it wasn't long before the sons died too. This left Naomi all alone with her sons' widows, Ruth and Orpah. There was no man to care for them.
After a while, Naomi received word that the famine in Israel was over. There was food again in Judah, so Naomi decided to travel back home. She urged Ruth and Orpah to return their families and gods. Orpah left, but Ruth refused. She said, "Where you go, I will go, and where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." So Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem together. Since they had no food or money, Ruth went to the fields to gather the leftovers the harvesters missed. God led her to the field of Boaz, a relative of Naomi, just as he came to visit his men. When Boaz saw Ruth, he welcomed her and kindly invited her to eat with him. He told the men to leave plenty of grains behind for her to gather.
When Ruth told Naomi about Boaz and his kindness, Naomi explained that Boaz was a close relative. This meant he was one of their redeemers who could marry Ruth and care for her since her husband had died. In those days, there were special rules about those things. Naomi was happy that Boaz had showed Ruth such favor. She sent Ruth back to him, hoping he would marry her. And that is just what Boaz did. He went to the elders of the city and promised to redeem and take care of the 2 widows by marrying Ruth and buying back Naomi's land to give her a place to live and grow food. Later, when Ruth and Boaz had a son, the woman said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you this day without a redeemer." Ruth chapter 4 verse 14. They named the boy Obed. When he grew up, Obed became the father of Jesse, who became the father of David, who became king of Israel.
Did you know we have a Redeemer too? A Redeemer in Naomi's day would buy back the land a widow had lost when her husband died. He would pledge to care for her. Jesus is a Redeemer in an even greater way. By dying on the cross for our sins, Jesus paid a price to redeem us from the curse of our sin. Now all those who trust in the Lord are redeemed. They will live with God in heaven, and He will take care of them. In Galatians, Paul tells us that God sent His Son to redeem those who are under the law, so that we might receive adoption as sons. Galatians chapter 4, verse 5.